There was some problem with the daughter in the. I have never approached for anything for my Baba. Baba knows everything what to advise. My wife told some problem to Baba. Then Baba said, "You please go out, send a red flower with the daughter." The daughter went with the red flower. Baba said, "Show me." The red flower became completely black in the hands of my daughter. Now take this flower, throw out. The problem is over. When you return, within 4 days, a black chap will come to your house to negotiate marriage, and that marriage you have to accept. 4 days. Exactly on the 4th day, a black chap, he is an engineer, space engineer, in National Aero Laboratory. He, with his sister and son-in-law came, they selected. The next day his father and mother came, the marriage was decided, and exactly on the 4th day, the black chap has come. I remember to what extent he was advising and protecting me. I have never approached. Baba by himself will instruct me that this thing will happen. So always he remains behind me. Always I am supported both in spiritualism and also in the worldly life.
I wanted Baba to visit my place of residence, and took Baba to my place. There, I told him that I have to worship one Narayan Shila, one stone, but I don't know the rules of worshipping, the Hindu act of worshipping. Baba said that there is a book available in College Street. That book contains all the rules required by you. I noted down the address. Then I dropped Baba at his residence and I went to office. After office, I went to College Street book market and purchased that copy of the book, came to Baba to show him the book. Baba said, I have already purchased one copy for you. So how affectionate he was. He himself, at his age, he was perhaps 65 at that time. He went to College Street himself, purchased one book for me, noted down the relevant requirements, the tick marks of particular rules that I have to follow, and gave that book to me. I preserve that book still now with me. In this way, whenever I met Baba, Baba told me, read one chapter of Gita every day. Read one slok, one verse, and meditate on it. That is important. So, he selected one verse, asked me to go home and meditate on it and come back the next day. I did so. When I returned the next day, Baba said, what is the result of your meditation? I told him the meaning of the slok that I got. Baba said yes. He corrected a bit and then go on like this.
Many disciples will be sitting, but he will reply to all the questions even unasked for. Nobody will ask the question, but all the doubts within us will be cleared by him. He knows He enters into you and knows what is your mind. Then he clears it.
In 99, I contested for the parliament from Jagatsinghpur parliament constituency. Wanted the blessing of Gurudev, and I wanted to inform Pragyananda Baba. His address also I didn't know at that time. I asked another friend of Pragyananda Baba. Afterwards, he became also disciple, Aurobindo. Aurobindo told me that I will send the message. Then I got the reply. Gurudev told, he is assured. I am an ordinary man here in this city. When we come to election is a very expensive game in India. Fortunately, although I have participated in all the elections, I have never spent anything, but I have not begged anybody from us. Elections were done in a very normal and calm, quiet way. I was. That time I felt that perhaps a lot of money will be required. How can I help myself? Somehow it was done, and the blessing of Gurudev has conveyed to me. With thumping majority, I won the election.
Beloved Gurudev, with incarnation of light, incarnation of love. Where there is darkness, His presence removes the darkness instantly. When you come in presence of beloved Gurudev, a sunrise of knowledge takes place, and that sunrise removes your doubts and your ill feelings as well, your illusion, and also that light instructs you directly and indirectly to rectify the life full of errors. That is beloved Gurudev. Unless He is the Himalayan treasure of the love, He can bring about such kind of change in another person, in another person, in another being, in another disciple, in another unknown human being like me. His love incarnate.
Opportunity to first meet Baba in 1989 when he was residing in the residence of Dr. Niranjan Pradhan, one of his disciples. I had never met Baba earlier. It was my wife who got the information from one of his late disciples, Justice Lingaraj Rath, that Baba has come to Cuttack. I was at Cuttack then. So we paid a visit. I saw Baba, had the opportunity to talk with him.
Baba always used to come to our house, stays 2-3 days. At that time, he always says, we gather around him, and also we asked various questions regarding his experience. He told us, and my father, when he was worried about my elder sister marriage, so my father told that, Baba, it is very difficult to get a nice groom for my daughter. So Baba always used to tell, are you are 3 Ratna, your 3 diamonds, you are having 3 daughters, you are, so no need to worry. You will get a very good husband for your daughter, don't worry. And also he gave assurance that you will definitely, and my elder sister, he was happy.
Everything had a very different impact on our childhood, as it directed us, all of us, all my siblings and myself including, towards God, interest in God, like in the interest in self-realization. So that my parents were always very pious, and they were very different than the normal people. Although they were living in the world, but they were completely out of it, So Baba had a very huge influence on my life too. After I got married, I went to meet him in Bombay with my daughter. She was very small then. And that time also he was radiating so much of love and warmth. Although I had not taken initiation, but I could feel the love in his talk. He used to speak fluent Odia. And when he heard my husband speaking in Bengali, he blessed him so much. And he could see what is there in his mind also. And he predicted many things which normal people would not know. So he was God-like. When I now also at times when I meditate, I get to see Baba smiling and blessing me. So what do I say? I don't know anything more than this. Mm, his presence in the house brought about a very different change. The house felt like an ashram because there was these incense sticks burning every day morning. There was people used to come for meditation. The house completely changed, and the vibe was also very different. So as children, we used to look forward to it. Actually, I don't know what we understood at that age, but we all used to look forward to it. When Baba would come, Ma would cook all varieties and then he would hardly touch anything and leave everything as prasad. We used to wait to have that. So life was very different as children, and he definitely has a very big impact, at least on my life. And he definitely changed me to whatever I have come to now. It is because of him. And Baba used to come very often. So there was only discussion. I don't know what they used to discuss, but the entire atmosphere, the environment was charged with a lot of positivity, a lot of warmth, and his starring personality exuding a lot of warmth, lot of what do you say? It was, I don't know. It was, if it was love for God that I could sense, but I could feel that something nice is happening in the house. We were small children, around 7-8 years old. So yeah, he was very kind, very soft. He was very affectionate. He used to talk as though he's somebody very own, your very own. Like he used to pamper, he used to show a lot of affection. He was a very affectionate person, very, very affectionate, very warm, very soft spoken, very loving.
I retired in 1993. Then the government formed a committee, National Committee for preparing a plan of drug abuse control. So in the ministry, there was some note, and the ministry wanted to have a chairman of the committee. If Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was still recently the Prime Minister, he was then the Minister for Finance and Revenue, and narcotics was and still is a subject of that ministry, because opium cultivation and licensing of opium is done by them. So Manmohan Singh wrote my name. Let Shri Chakravarti head this committee. Now it was from different disciplines. I was the chairman. The Finance Ministry has a member. The Home Ministry has a member. The Social Welfare Ministry has a member. Then the Minister for Social Welfare, he was politically powerful. Some of his bureaucrats put up a draft, he signed a letter. How is a retired government servant be made a chairman of an official committee and preside over an official committee? Manmohan Singh wrote back, I don't find any cogent reason for changing my decision. So I continued, and
the UN drug abuse control to get the fund offered to pay me the last pay I was getting from the government as consultancy. As a result, I could get my consultancy fee, I could also get my pension, I could also get something additional for transport and housing. So I became financially, because very solid. When I retired, my pension, my income was reduced to half. Is it not? Now it really was 3 times. My children were still then not finished their education. They were not earning. So I could do that because I had this money. Is it? So I immediately felt the blessing of the Guru. Thereafter, the UN drug abuse control, and we gave our plan. Then UN drug abuse control, they have their South Asia office. They appointed me as their consultant for South Asia, all the time. They also paid me a monthly consultancy fee. Then in 1997, the International Narcotic Control Board had a vacancy. Actually, vacancy was notified by Secretary General of the United Nations in 1996. So several names went up to the government. Again, that Manmohan Singh was still there. He was then still finance minister. He just picked my name. We nominate, because it is an elected post, you know. The UN General Assembly has a body called Economic and Social Council. They elect the members to the INC. So once my name went to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, External Affairs, they filed my nomination. You see, it is something like a party filing their candidate's nomination. I was the candidate for India, and my canvassing for votes was done by the Ministry of External Affairs. It is our ambassador in UN, ambassador in Vienna. They were doing all the lobbying for me. There are lobbying at the international level. So I got elected for 5 years. All this could not have happened but for Guruji's blessing.
Afterwards, everybody took his blessing one by one. On my turn, I also stood up and bowed down to take his blessing. But I could not stand up again. I tried to get up unsuccessfully 3 to 4 times, as I was not able to stand even with the help of others. Sri Gurudev instructed other disciples to take me to another room. I was taken to another room. Half an hour later, I was brought back into the hall. By that time, most of the disciples had left. I was lying down on the carpet. Gurudev asked me, "What happened to you, Baba?" I replied, "Gurudev, my legs are gone." He smilingly asked where they have gone and put his hand on my leg one by one. As soon as he touched my leg, I lost my body conscious. I saw light and light everywhere. When he removed his hand from my legs, my body consciousness was back. Then Gurudev told me to stand up, and I asked, "How can I stand up?" Gurudev told me, "Just stand up." I tried and I was able to stand again on my feet. Guruji was present at that time in hall. This was a great miracle for everyone present. I stayed with Gurudev for some time. After some time, I saw that his legs were paining too much. Some disciples started massaging his legs, and I felt that Gurudev had taken my problem onto his body. Looking at his pain, felt grief in my heart. I said to God, "You are the kind enough to us that you have placed us under the protection and guidance of such a great Guru."
When I was traveling from Madurai to Rameswaram by car, we are sitting on the back side, on the rear seats, but one car came and hit our car, and we are unconscious, and we are unconscious when we are going to die almost. Then the villagers took us to the Madurai hospital, and they did the surgery, etc. But after the surgery was not that successful. After the surgery, I was going to die. And I was feeling something. I could not breathe. Then all of a sudden, I felt some jerk. "No, go back. I will not take you." I saw Baba said that you go back, you have some time to live. Then I got my consciousness. Then I survived during that accident. That was Baba's grace.
I have gathered that he always examines the disciples and at all the time. and I faced a serious accident in 2002, and I could save my life in 2002 by a car accident where I was driving alone on the national highway. And astonishingly, I could save myself due to the existence of my Guruji's locket. During the accident time, this Guruji's locket was here, just in front of my chest. And the accident was so serious that when I was driving at that time, that steering rod with frame was it was attacked to my heart, and astonishingly that iron frame that broken away, not my heart. If it had been attacked in that manner, then I would have been, by blood vomiting, I would have been passed away on the spot. But astonishing that how it could possible that iron frame and old vehicle, iron frame that was broken. That is why that attack was not that much serious, and I could save myself.
Bombay is a place where you, being a seashore, you are prone to respiratory diseases. And I did pick up what medically is known as chronic bronchitis. The chronic bronchitis was so bad that nothing was working. Antibiotics used to work for a while, and thereafter the state of coughing would still continue with sputum coming out. So I was put on what is known as corticosteroids, prednisone in America, prednisolone in India. That was the name of the drug, and I was given 5 milligrams 3 to 4 times a day. And that's a pretty tough dosage of prednisone for an individual to control the chronic bronchitis situation that I had. Now, needless to tell you that if you're coughing every 5 minutes, there is no way you can meditate. So one day, while I was sitting to meditate, I was feeling very uneasy. I did pray to Baba that either this disease or meditation, you make the decision. If I continue with this disease, there is no way I can meditate. Only if the disease goes can I meditate. And I was deep in thoughts with this thought. I was so engrossed that I did not see what happened. But when the conscious self, I realized that Baba was just sitting next to me. He did appear in person and took my whole face in his laps. And he says, Anil Baba, why are you so deeply depressed? I said, Baba, it's very clear to you that there's no way I can meditate. You had asked me to meditate regularly. I sit through the ritual, but every 5 minutes I'm coughing. There is no meditation. So either I do meditation or keep suffering from this cough. He says, don't worry, my child, this will go away. You just do bhastrika with me and the cough would disappear. So I did not know what was bhastrika. So I asked Baba, I said, Baba, I'm sorry, I don't know what is bhastrika. Tell me how to perform bhastrika. So Baba explained to me. He performed bhastrika along with me. And my next question to him was, how many times should I do it? So he told me a figure which was 100 odd figure. He says 100 odd bhastrikas you must do in the morning as well as in the evening, and this bronchitis would disappear. I said, thank you very much, Baba, and I bowed at his feet. When I raised my head, there was no Baba there. Now, being a skeptic, I was in doubt whether this was a hallucination or the reality. And the only way to check this was that whenever Baba returns to India next, I will try to quiz him in such a way without disclosing this event, whether it was he or was my hallucination. So I went, when I got my turn, I went up and bowed. Baba was lying on a cot. I bowed to him, and when I touched his feet, I bowed, touched his feet. So he asked me, so Anil Baba, that's how he used to address me. So Anil Baba, how's your health now? Needless to tell you, I practiced Bhastrika, and within 6 weeks, 8 weeks, the cough had disappeared. I'm still fine. I don't have any bronchitis issues till thereafter. So I just kept a very straight face, because at the back of my mind was to understand whether it was a hallucination or his actual presence. So I kept a straight face and said, I'm fine, Baba, I'm exactly doing what you told me, so there are no issues. So I thought I was my diplomatic best with my reply. I had still not disclosed, still told him that whatever you asked me I am doing, which could mean anything. So he smiled at me and said, Anil Baba, what are you doing? Now I was in a fix. He is directly asking me a question. So I thought I have failed in my effort mentally. All this was happening in my mind. So I said, I have failed in my effort. I thought I would not disclose it to him, what I was doing, and assess whether that was a reality or a hallucination. But now he's asking me, I can't tell him lies. I don't like to tell lies to my guru. So I just said, Baba, I'm doing exactly what you told me in Bhastrika. So he told me, okay, perform Bhastrika. So I sat and tried to perform Mahasaya with him, before him. But it all went hayway. I could not perform Mahasaya well before me. He says, I did not. He says, Anil Baba, I did not tell you to do Mahasaya like this. What I told you was, and he once again performed Mahasaya before me. So that caring was gone. Whatever I'm telling you to a skeptic, to a non-believer, would sound to be a story. It would have been a story to me as well. But because it's my own experience, I only see it as truth. It's very difficult to describe his nature without the extraordinaire that he was able to perform at almost every needed marked opportunity.
After meeting Gurudev, 2 to 3 days after meeting Gurudev, I met with an accident where I went to Berhampur for my work, and from Berhampur I was returning back to Cuttack. It's just about 10 kilometers before reaching Bhubaneswar. The bus met with an accident, and people were my colleague was sitting beside me, and I was the first person to be dragged out of the bus. I don't know how did I came out of the bus fast. 2 people died during the accident. I was, that may be the miracle of Gurudev. Because when the accident happened, I just cried, Gurudev save us.